Excuse my tardiness. I apologize. Please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Hashtag free Wendy, everybody. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? What's up, everybody? Who we got here? What's up, Dursey? How you doing? What's up, Miss Yolanda? What's up, Mary D? What's up, CJ? What's up, Shakira? What's up, Grandma Joy? How you doing? What did Ronnie say? Did she say what I think she said? What's up, Miss VR? What's up, Callie? How you doing? CJ, Celebrity Scandalous, Wanda, Libra, there Ronnie. Okay. Luigi too. Free my ninja Luigi. What's up, Tris? What's up, Yvette? Who else we got here? Who else? VSOP. We're gonna light some candles. What's up, Tasha? Hello. What's up, everybody? All right. Without further ado, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So there's been a lot of conversation regarding Wendy. It all kind of started Thursday when Charlamagne she was on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne and the other people, right? And then Don Lemon also had her on the show, but we didn't talk about Don Lemon. So I wanted to talk about that because he did interview Wendy, but also he gave commentary about his thoughts about Wendy. And he wasn't so sold on the conservator is a bad person. He actually gave a different perspective. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't like this. Like, what you trying to say, Don Lemon? You know, Don Lemon, ever since he got fired from CNN, he been off the hook. He just don't care nowadays. He just say what is on his mind. So, yeah. So I don't want to say Don Lemon was negative, but also, too, I wouldn't say it was the most positive review because it left room for doubt. As in, Wendy possibly needs this conservatorship and we're probably jumping the gun on it. Which, I mean, that's his perspective, so we got to give him credit for it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. Hold on when I pull it up. Let me pull it up here. Where's my assistant? Damn it. My assistant's supposed to be here pulling up all my graphics and everything. Yo, I ain't got no assistant. Okay, here we go. I want to play the interview, and then I want to play a conversation with Don and Monique Presley. So we're going to play his interview first.
Do is look at the window, and anytime I go out, it's because I'm going out with the person that the guardian has assigned to me. So if I want to go out, for lunch, what I'm saying, then I have got to go with this woman. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go out, like my dad turned 94,
and you can't go. Wendy, let me ask you this. I heard the interview, and I want to cover some things that didn't happen in the interview. Now, do you remember the last time that you were at the house, and I'm just going to be honest, you took your wig off, and we had a real heart-to-heart, and I was like, here's the real Wendy. And I said, Wendy, would you ever go on without your wig and do a thing with me? You said, no, because this is how people know me. So, Wendy, I want to know what is going on with you? Why do you feel, do you feel desperate now that you're in a desperate situation? What's up?
Well, first of all, about my actual hair, is longer, but it's thin, and that's why I wear wigs, people.
It looks fine. Wendy, I said to you that you were beautiful, and I was like, this is the Wendy that people need to know with your hair down. So talk to me. Okay. What's up?
Okay. Well, what's going on is I've been in this system, like I said, for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Presently right now, I'm in New York at this place, and it's not to say horrible things about older people. It's just that the people that live here are in their 90s and their 80s and their 70s. And I don't know, maybe they're 60 like me. I can't tell. People are in wheelchairs. Some people are.
Question. So this doesn't seem like one of those like high-end luxury senior facilities. You know how why can't I think of a name of one? But you know how like those rich people they go in those high-end senior citizen facilities and stuff like that. This doesn't seem like one of those places. It almost seems like some kind of rehab or something to that effect, as she doesn't have control over what she does on a daily. Like she's not allowed to leave her room and stuff like that. So this really seems like more of a rehabilitation center than the standard old folks home or some kind of luxury facility that she's at. All right, let's continue.
Aren't in wheelchairs, but they walk very. Listen, clearly they are not of my sound mind and body. You understand what I'm saying?
Wendy, are you incapacitated?
Hell fucking no. Look, Alex, please address what has been going on with me. Alex, by the way, has actually been here, right here. She flew from Miami to New York, and she's been right here, and she sees the people. She sees the look.
Okay, Wendy, I'm going to ask you. Slow down. Okay, slow down. You don't believe you're incapacitated. The Guardian has said you're incapacitated permanently and that you have dementia.
Yes, and
frontal aphasia.
Listen, and I don't know how much I can talk without being punished. You know what I'm saying? And I won't be able to see my dad, and I won't be able to, do anything, and I'll be stuck in this prison I'm in for the rest of my life. You understand what I'm saying?
You feel like you're in a prison in an apartment in New York City.
This is not an apartment. I don't even know what you call this place. Like, I don't even know what you call this place. This is an old age home in New York. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where people, bring you your pills. Where people, the door is always just knock on the door. I tell them, don't just come in here. You understand what I'm saying? And all I have are the things that I have from storage. While my apartment.
You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised no one has leaked out where she is. Like, I figured, like, with the clues that she was given, especially she say in New York, I figured somebody would know. And we know that the Breakfast Club sent Lauren LaRosa, one of the girls on the show, they sent her there to Wendy's place. So there are people who know where she is, but I'm surprised, like, it hasn't leaked out to us yet. Because I know, if anything, people be outside saying free Wendy, more than likely what's going to end up happening is that we're going to find out where she is, and then they're going to move her. But let's continue.
Sold, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all my clothing, I have a little bit of clothing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a drawer, there's a small closet, there's a big TV that through my money, the Guardian person got me the TV that I want. You know what I'm saying?
Wendy, let me ask you. What? People want to know, how did you end up in this situation? How did the Sabrina Morrissey gain control of you, and how did she become your guardian?
Well, first of all, she's making money from me, you know what I'm saying? And she's supposed to be here to protect me. And this has been going on now for 3 years of my life. Alex, are you listening?
I'm here.
Okay, Alex, please talk, because Don Lemon doesn't understand what I've been going through for the last 3 years of my life. Alex, this is my niece. Please talk.
I know, okay, Alex.
Here's the thing. Yeah, and here's the thing, Don.
I think Wendy was getting frustrated because Don was asking her some questions. And again, he's a journalist, so he's going to ask those questions that the Breakfast Club is not going to ask because they're not journalists, right? So he's trying to figure out, like, well, how did you even end up in this situation? And that's been my question. Remember, I asked that too. Like, how did it even get here to where a bank can make a decision over your life? Like, how does that go down? How does that happen?
And I know the question that you asked, and I know that the reason, Wendy, one reason she can't really go in and answer fully is because everything is still so tied up in legal.
Okay.
And so she has to be really careful about what she says. And I get that. We talked about that. She knows that. So there are just certain details because of the legalities of it that she just can't get into. But Wendy, what's going on with you? We've been talking about this as a family. We've been sitting in this for a while. And, I was worried even coming into this interview. I was just on the phone with you, Dawn, before, because I didn't hear from you at the minute, the time that, we said exactly. And it's like that feeling of, was her phone taken away? Where is she? What's going on?
Yeah.
And if we feel that fear for her as family, I can only imagine what she's going through as she sits in this room day in, day out. She doesn't go out unless it's for an assigned appointment. Doesn't get the proper sunlight, doesn't socialize with friends. She doesn't have the communications that make sense to live in a world that we're in terms of 2025. A landline phone that can only call out, no one can call her, and a TV. I mean, that has been my aunt's life for the last year and a half.
And by the way, Don, I order a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner, and I always eat right here in the bed watching TV. I don't eat with these people on this floor. They are elderly people. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, the people who live here, they're nice people. We always say hi to each other as I order lunch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then I always have it brought back to me, and I eat right here in the bed. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, Wendy. You feel trapped, and you said you feel like you're being imprisoned in this facility. I understand that.
I probably shouldn't have put that
people
up.
are concerned about you. They're worried. They haven't seen you, and the times that they do see you publicly, they worry that you're not the same as you were. This is not the Wendy that we're used to.
And the sentiment that I'm getting from you guys is like maybe she doesn't want to go into all the details. One, because she can't because of legal reasons. But two, she also could be embarrassed by how she even ended up in that situation. So I believe it's a combination of all of the above.
Listen. And not only that, I only have like $15. This guardian person is keeping my money trapped, so to speak. She has all of my money. You understand what I'm saying? But all of the freedom that I want. You know what I'm saying? And through my money, for instance, I would like to go to Sephora. You know what I'm saying? So what the guardian person does is she will call up Sephora, because that's where I want to go, and then I'll be able to buy stuff through my money that this girl, it's a woman, this guardian person. You understand what I'm saying? Do you know my guardian?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Wendy. So where your money is being held, do you still have money in an account somewhere?
Excuse me. No. Look, my money is, I have good money. I've worked all of my goddamn life. My thing about being in New York is I want to work in New York until I have enough money and enough of what I've done in New York that it's now time to fly and live in Miami for the rest of my life. And that's always what I wanted to do, right, Alex? And it worked out perfectly, I stopped doing my show on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, it's now time to stop because my money is great money. You know what I mean?
I understand that. People.
Now, I have a question about her money because remember, Sabrina Morrissey was saying that she's broke and she doesn't have any more money. That came out when Kevin Hunter, the ex-husband, was trying to sue, remember, to try to get the rest of his alimony. And she said, we already paid you out, and Wendy doesn't have any more money to give. So, she alluded to Wendy not having no more. This is the reason why they had to sell the Manhattan apartment and all this stuff. So, again, if her money is gone, I would like to know, where did it go?
going to say, well, why does this woman want to, have Wendy in a guardianship? And is she protecting you in some way? Do you believe?
First of all, she's making money off me.
How so?
Alex, can you please talk?
How wait, Wendy, how is she making money off of you?
Well, you're my guardian, so you're making money off of me. Like for instance, when I was in Miami there's some legality things that I am not confident to talk so much about. But Alex,
I understand. I've spoken to Alex about this. I want to know, Wendy, you went to little Kevin's graduation, right?
Yes, and I got yes, and we had a great time. Although the guardian person, you know what I'm saying? Look, I want to see my dad, for his birthday. Mm-hmm. And we had a great 9 days in Miami. The family is just, oh my God, we had such a good time. I mean, we went to this party place where the entire family was there, including my dad, you know what I'm saying, where the music was great, you know what I'm saying, where the food was excellent.
How did that come about, Wendy? How did they let you go to see little Kevin and your family?
Why? Because I'm the mother. When I gave.
Now, Wendy doesn't answer this question. She's kind of on autopilot because a lot of the same stuff she said with Jason Lee, and then that's why I'm not going to play Jason Lee because it's basically the same stuff. Jason Lee, The Breakfast Club, now with Don Lemon, it's kind of all the same stuff. She's kind of like on autopilot, and she doesn't veer too much off from the questions. And the reason why he's asking her, like, well, how were you able to go was, okay, you're in this conservatorship, but it seems like they allow you to go places. So what's really going on? Are you not allowed to go places? Or, maybe he should ask, was there a time you requested to go somewhere and they said no? Because now the thing is, she might not be able to see her dad for his 94th birthday. But if she went to Kevin's graduation, maybe she'll be able to go to the dad's birthday then.
Gave him a car for graduation, you know what I'm saying? And I saw him, walk across the stage, and I stood up and cheered. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, how would they let you out if you're in a guardianship and you said that you feel like you're in prison?
You know what? Because I don't even know what the goddamn guardianship is in terms of stuff like that. Crap. You understand what I'm saying? I've been in this system for 3 years of my fucking life. 3 years of my life. You realize that at any given moment, I guess they will steal my TV, you know what I'm saying? So I can't watch TV, you know what I'm saying? And watch TMZ and see what's going on, and watch you, Don Lemon, while you talk to Rosanna Scotto. You know, this is my friend Rosanna Scotto, who also named in storage, not in storage, but with the guardian person. You understand what I'm saying? Alex.
Listen, Wendy, Alex, I understand. Alex and I have spoken, and I just want to make sure that I get this. Go ahead.
No. Listen, but I want to speak to my niece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the three of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, this is my life, Don. This is my life.
Alex has your back. I mean, Alex is 100%, and we have spoken about how to get help and get people to understand what is going on with you. And that, correct, you want to be with your family. You feel that that's the best place for you to be in Florida, right?
Now, one thing is Don's trying to get Wendy to speak instead of Alex, but the thing is, Wendy's not supposed to be doing all this talking like she's doing. And so Alex is there kind of like the buffer to explain things that Wendy cannot say because Wendy is tied in a whole lawsuit, but Don isn't understanding that part. And I'm wondering how come they didn't explain that to him, because then he probably wouldn't be pressing so hard, because it is coming off a little, I don't want to say combative, but when I think of the word I'm trying to say, I'll let you guys know.
Excuse me, when you want to be, all right, I'm not going to even ask. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Like I said, I worked in New York all of my life. From the time I was 26. I was 26 and I started WBLS New York, right? I was doing WBLS like like a beast. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, TV came along. I was like, oh, TV, all right. Well, radio is my god. You know what I'm saying? I love radio, but TV made more money for me, so I stayed on TV.
Do you want to go back to work, Wendy?
Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? But I don't want to work I don't want to work like 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I want to pick and choose what kind of work I want to do because that's the type of person I am now. You know what I'm saying? I want to pick, and I want to do it. I want to do it in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And I want to pick and choose because that's the type of person I've become, and that's the type of person I always wanted to be, living in Miami with my family.
What do you want people to know, Wendy, about this? Because I remember I had you on the show, and you started tearing up when I said, "Who is Wendy Williams? Who is Wendy Williams right now?"
Yeah, well, the things that I actually want, I've talked to Alex about. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk to you about that because what we're doing is we're doing something for the world to.
Now, if he already talked to Alex, I feel that he should have already had certain questions and asked, like, "Hey, what can I ask? What can I can't? What can't I ask you?" To already make it go smoothly, because it does seem like he's trying to push for these certain answers to certain questions, but again, she cannot answer it. And so the way that it can come off to some people, because we're going to circle it back, because I'm going to play his conversation with Monique Presley. It's coming off as almost like, y'all, she might be doing better, but she's not okay. Like there still might be something that's not right with her. And that's the way it's coming off. And that's kind of like what he said in another show that same day. So like I said, I'm going to play that for you guys, but I just wanted to give you guys the backstory first.
I'm talking back and forth with you, Don. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Alex, if you can do a little bit more talking, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Well, hang on 1 second. Let me just ask another thing. Wendy, are you taking medication for anything? Because if you have dementia, as they say, or if you are
I can see that
incapacitated, they would be giving you some type of medication.
And I think, Alex,
well, I just want to say, and I think the medication part, that is very sensitive, and so
right.
We've talked about that in terms of having conversations about that, but
true. You're right about that.
Here's where we're at. My aunt clearly wants to talk. She wants to get her messaging out there, but it has become extremely difficult. And she's so careful with what she says because there is this worry, there is this fear that A, she's going to say the wrong thing. B, there might be some sort of retaliation as a result of that. I mean, Don, the tears that I shared with you before this, prior to my aunt calling you, those were real in terms of
I know
what happened just by her moving the line slightly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of, when people are hearing in terms of, my aunt talking about her life, talking about what she wants, but kind of doing her best with that delicate dance is literally because there are things that she just can't talk about, / there are things that she's concerned about talking about because she doesn't know
I totally understand
where that line is,
I totally understand that. And Wendy, look, as I said, Alex has your back. We were on the phone. She was crying before this because she thought that they had taken your phone and she wasn't going to have a chance, wasn't going to have any way to be able.
I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit because I was going to bring this up after this, but I wanted to kind of put this in. So with all her famous friends, right, with Charlamagne, Jason Lee, and you got Don Lemon, right? Don Lemon don't seem like he really wants to help, though, and we'll get into that. But why is Jason Lee and Charlamagne not putting their money together to get Wendy a lawyer? Why does the public, because there's a GoFundMe, why does the public have to help Wendy get a lawyer and not her famous friends that love her so much? Anybody else question that? I'll continue.
Able to get in touch with you, and that's how.
Yeah.
That's how. Go on. What do you say to that?
I mean that is a fact. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? If they take my phone, yes, I could probably make a call, from somebody. But then, suddenly, like if I call you, Don, then now these people will have a telephone number to call you back, Don. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not in a good position because this guardian person will make sure that look. My life is screwed up. You know, this guardian mess is, please, look, I am isolated. I feel like I'm in prison. I feel like, you know, they're trying to control me, you know what I'm saying, and everything that I do, you know what I'm saying. You know, if I chew, they don't even, look. My life is screwed up, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I can do for myself is I can keep myself a sound mind and body. You know what I'm saying? You know, that you know, regardless of what, like, I love lipstick. You know what I'm saying? So I have lipstick on right now. Why? Because I always have lipstick. It's not a big.
Oh, let me answer about my comment about the famous friends. There is a GoFundMe for Wendy. And so what I was saying was that, well, why is there a GoFundMe when they could help? Because what they're asking for is 50,000. They're not asking for some kind of astronomical number. They're asking for 50K. So I'm all like, so Charlamagne and Jason Lee can't put they 25 and 25 and then help out? That's more or less what I'm saying. Now, do I have 50K? No, I do not have 50K to give. I got 50 cents, but that ain't gonna help her.
Deal. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I all of my clothing is here. Not all of it. Most is in storage. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, Alex? What am I supposed to do?
And you're doing what you can do right now, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I have to run.
Yeah, you got to get to work, Alex.
Yeah.
Wendy, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm sorry that we're supposed to talk for longer. You were supposed to call earlier, but we were worried when you didn't call. So Wendy, feel free to call back anytime. You know, I've been trying to reach out to you through your family. I spoke to Wanda and Alex, and they love you and they care about you.
Wanda is her sister.
Final words, Wendy, before we let you go.
Yeah, I want to talk to you privately behind by myself to talk to you. Okay.
Okay, I'm here.
I'm serious. I do.
Okay, well, we're here to help, and I want you to talk privately, and I'm here to help, Wendy.
Yeah.
I'm only here to help, just so you know, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
You take care. You take care of yourself, Wendy. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you all. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye. Bye bye. There you have it. That's my conversation with Wendy. It was supposed to be a lot longer, but she is in a place where she can't always.
I think the questions that Don was asking, he was not going to get those answers. And so, like I said, I wonder, did he know or did he not ask, like, what can I or what can't I say? But he was going to ask anyway. Because if that's your friend, you definitely want to make sure your friend looks in a good light. And I'm going to say something about Wendy speaking out and doing interviews now. I don't think she had a game plan. I believe what their game plan is they know the power of social media and they know how it worked for Britney Spears. And so they were hoping that people would do what they did for Britney Spears and the public rally around and, you know, make the conversation go so then she can eventually get help and, you know, so forth and so forth. I don't know if that's going to work for Wendy. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work for Wendy because, again, there is a pending lawsuit that we don't know what's going on with that. And Wendy does not have her own independent lawyer. She has a lawyer, but she doesn't have her own independent lawyer. And I feel like these things probably should have been worked out first and then, you know, come out to the public. Because like I said, Charlamagne and Jason have the resources to help her. Because originally I was like, okay, this is great because then people are going to donate to the GoFundMe, right? But I'm all like, they can help her out, right? Come on, they can help her. Because I think when you let everybody know your game plan and what's going on, yeah, there's a possibility that Sabrina Morrissey, the Guardian, could be all like, oh, you don't need no phone. You in here talking. See, I told you was crazy. You in here talking crazy. Let me take that phone. Like, it didn't seem like they actually had a plan. It was more or less, yo, let's get everybody riled up. Let's get the people out there talking, and then hopefully we can make some change happen. And Sabrina Morrissey, I mean, y'all seen this lady picture? She don't look like she give a fuck. Like, I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth. She don't look like she give a fuck. You know, she's still making her money, you know, getting her salary for Wendy's money. She don't give a damn about what we say.
Call.
Oh, I'm gonna play a little more and then we'll move on to the next video. But please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hashtag free Wendy. I'm still a free Wendy supporter.
The reason that it was also cut short is that her niece is at work and she had to go on live herself on television. And so there it is. Yeah. So again, and I'll show you as we're going to roll some pictures and I'll again explain. So after Wendy visited me, I think the last time it was in 2021, as I've been telling you guys, she came over during the pandemic, and yeah, and she came over and we had just the very personal discussion, and we sat, as I said, she took her wig off. I didn't tell you guys this. So the second time she came over, she sat on not on the couch, at the edge of the couch on the floor, and talked to me about her issues and what she wanted to do. And at that time, she was still not back on television. She was not back on television at that time. And she said she wanted her show back and she wanted to go back on TV.
This was during the time where, you know, they were doing those special guest hosts. This is during that time. So I just wanted to give you guys kind of some clarification on the timeline. She called me the second time. We told her she could come again. We went out to dinner and for drinks and not for right,
drinks, we went
Grandma
to dinner.
Joy. Right.
And we went to this restaurant. There's a restaurant in Bridgehampton that is, it's a funny thing, Friday night, there's a gay night. And she said, I want to go. You know, those are my people. And so we went, we had a good time. We sat, and then we went to lunch, and then we took her out on the boat. That was her in the restaurant that you see right there. That we took her out to lunch. And then we went out on the boat, and I wanted her to have a good time because, quite honestly, my heart did go out to her because she seemed lonely. She was going through some things. She was trying to date, all of these things.
See, and that's my question too. Like, a bank can't just, like, how does a bank able to start like a conservatorship, or, you know, that doesn't make any sense to me. However, there's a part with her former manager, Bernie, and I've been looking to see if he has any digital footprint, but the only stuff that you see is from when all this stuff originally went down, when he was trying to get guardianship over Wendy. This man is the one with all the answers. Her former manager, Bernie. She used to talk about him on the show as well, too. I don't know what Bernie's last name is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's Bernie. Not Bernie Sanders, y'all. It's a Bernie, though. That's what her former manager named. And he was trying to get legal guardianship over her originally as well, too. But they had a falling out. And remember, she accused Bernie of using her Amex and taking money from her.
And then there are some photographs, I'm not sure if we have, of, you know, how I came to know Wendy by filling in on her show, by doing the hot talk panel on her show and then filling in for her. This is me filling in for her when she got sick. I think this was back in 2019. And so it was weird, like, hosting for the Wendy show and then them asking me to do it for a longer period of time because I didn't know how long she was going to be on. So I spoke to Howie Mandel, and this funny thing is I was speaking to Howie Mandel then. I was like, can I shake his hand? I know he's a germaphobe. Look how far away he's sitting. And, you know, we had a fantastic discussion. But that was during the 10th anniversary, whatever. So you can figure out the year of the Wendy Williams show. So I believe that was in 2019. And then again, I usually sat on the panel in the hot talk thing, and then I ended up hosting the hot talk panel. And then so after that, we know, Wendy came back for a while, and then she ended up going away. And so I did this because I wanted her, and I told, my company did not want me to do this, did not want me to fill in for her. They said, this is not in your contract. This is a completely different network. We're only allowing you to do this because you're friends with Wendy and you want to help her out. So we're going to give you this dispensation to fill in for her on the show. And
okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. So basically, he just goes on and on about how he was able to fill in even though they were on two separate networks. Oh, no, not set as default. What the hell did I just do? Okay, let me stop that. And then while I pull up this other video, we're going to do 5 minutes of call-in. So after each video, I'm going to do like a little call-in session. So I think that will work best. So let's go ahead and start that now. So we have 5 minutes of call in. Let me make sure I pin the link. No, why it keeps trying to connect me to the TV? Let me make sure I pin the link. Okay. Here we go. Where Ronnie at? Because I know Ronnie want to say something. Okay. And then while that is going on, oh, see, I told you Ronnie wanted to say something. Hey, Ronnie, how you doing? Hello.
And here she is. Before I say anything, hello, AT2 and AT2bers. Before I go in, let me just get this right out. How you doing? So,
how you doing?
How you doing? All right. Baby, let me say this. Okay. I'm going to say this. I think that Wendy is being very robotic because I feel that the answers that she's able to give are not going to incriminate her or not going to make her situation any worse than what it is already. Because there's a lot of that we don't know behind the scenes. And just like when you were asking about what about her, celebrity friends and people of that nature, AT, we don't know what they're doing. And again, especially with Charlamagne the God, because that was Wendy's protege. And so I would feel that they would do something. But before that, before her famous friends, I keep wondering, where's the family? Now, I know that they claim that they've been like stonewalled, but like Wanda is a lawyer. Certainly she would know some type of colleague that would help her. So with her going on all of these shows, I think that it's creating the noise, it's creating the buzz so that, the powers that be, will start taking notice and help her. Now, I don't mean to bring another YouTuber on here, but Storm had an exclusive and said that people within the production, in conjunction with Kevin, her husband, were drugging her to, so that
we'll talk about that later.
Now, if that was the case, and she's in this facility where they were giving her like antipsychotic medicines, in conjunction with like her organic dimension, we don't know what type of state of mind that Wendy is in. But at the end of the day, if she's got family that she can be with, why are they not letting her be with the family?
Right. And I guess that still goes with the question, like I know it was something like her son they basically said Kevin Jr. was spending up all her money and it seemed like she was being extorted or taken advantage of.
And I could see that because, Kevin is a child. And I mean, when you're the child of a rich kid, you don't know financial literacy. So that was it. But what about, okay, now her and Tommy don't get along, but certainly Wanda, could do something. And in the documentary, Wanda did say that, yes, I'd be willing to take these classes in order to be her guardian. And then there was that Stonewall. There's a lot that's going behind these scenes, AT2, that we're not privy to. And don't get me wrong, I believe that Wendy had 50% of the responsibility that brought her to where she's at right now, but nobody. Nobody deserves this. And as I pointed in the chat, so this conservator is supposed to be looking out for her. How are you looking out for your client when you undervalue her apartment, the money that's supposed to be going for her? It was just like Sabrina Marcy. She wanted to get rid of that apartment, whatever cost, and just have more money in the coffer. That's not how it's supposed to go. So
Right.
listen, AT, I have a very special connection with Wendy because here in Chicago, when her show started coming on, I was in a really bad way. Now I knew who she was from radio, but when those double doors came out and she did her famous "How you doing?" I was like, Wendy, I'm not doing so good. But I would have this going dialogue with her and like, oh, Wendy, I'm in school. Oh, Wendy, I finally got a job. It was a friendship through the television. She came
Right.
to she came to Chicago to do a book signing, and I was actually able to tell her that, and she broke down and cried. And wait a minute, and
Wow.
I gave her a "How you doing?" and she was, she gave me a hug, and she's like, "I'm glad I could help you in whatever way I could." And she said, and she even went so much to say, "We all fall down, but it's the getting up that matters." And that has always stayed with me. That's why I always have a special place in my heart for Wendy. And again, she wasn't the easiest person, and she was very vilified, but nobody deserves what is happening to this woman right now. This is not karma. This is somebody's maliciousness that's enacted right here.
Right. I definitely don't think it's karma. No. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this is her karma for all the stuff she said." No, this is not it. Like people just have a weird thing when it comes to karma, and it's like no, that just happened. It's not always karma.
And let me say this, AT, and because I could talk,
You
but I'm
got
gonna let.
30 seconds. Come on.
Okay, but you know what? And real fast, Don Lemon ain't
I was gonna say you can come back too, so don't worry. But go ahead.
Don Lemon ain't shit. Oh, ain't ish either.
Okay, you're gonna have to come back for part 2 because I'm about to play this next clip and it's gonna make you bad.
Bye
Make you
bye.
mad. Thank you, Ronnie. Love you. Okay, so this is the part where, and this is like the third video he did on Wendy that day, and people were highly upset about this part with him and Monique Presley. And now she is a lawyer, as I understand, so she's going to have that different perspective. And he also had to do with the dreads from TMZ on too. So, but I'm not going to play you that part. I'm just going to play you this.
How you doing?
Great.
What do you think of this whole thing? You go. Let me know.
Everybody who's not a medical expert should not make medical statements. And everybody who hasn't seen medical files should not make analysis about people's medical conditions. And once you cut that out, then I think we get down to where the rest of us are. We're laity coming at it from our different vantage points. Me, legal, yours, journalism. And I have heard in the hours since Wendy started talking this morning, lots of people bobbing and weaving in and out of their lanes, getting their lanes.
Yeah. I said, again, I've been saying I'm not a medical professional. I can give my personal opinion about how she sounds, right? And I also want to say, when someone says she's trapped in a guardianship, we don't know that because we're not privy to all of the information. But hasn't this been litigated and in court and publicly as well already?
Yes. And this is where, people have, and I think rightfully so, a lot of concerns about the far-reaching power of the court once anybody gets in the court system. We're concerned about that with our youth, that once they touch the court system, they're in the court system for life, the long arm of the court. And you heard Wendy even talking to you and saying she's been trapped in the court system, now for almost 3 years. And so there are concerns about this. But what originally happened is that her banking institution, her financial advisor at Wells Fargo, alerted the court because there were what the financial advisor considered to be irregular expenditures and a request to access more funds, and it deviated from known patterns during the time that Wendy Williams had her banking business with them, and they refused to do it until the court ordered them to. And they made the assertion to the court that they believed that she was being exploited, that they believed there was evidence of dementia, and that there were family members who were having justified control of her finances. And so
now, even if her family is exploiting her, say if they are, right? Let's just go with it. When or how do you tell the courts about it to where then the judge can make a decision like, okay, well, your family's not good enough to have custody of you. We need to then have you, or a guardian. We need to have you have some kind of guardian over your estate because your family doesn't know what they're doing. Because don't we hear about elderly abuse all the time? And with those cases, do they ever end up going to the government? Like, I don't know. It's so many questions on, all right, how did we even get to this point? Like, how did we get here? Like, how did these people have so much authority over her life?
From that happening, there was originally a power of attorney, and I believe that Wendy appointed her son as power of attorney, had to take a class, become the power of attorney, and then the court stripped that and assigned a guardian, and that's where this attorney Morrissey came into play. The records for what kind of guardianship she's under are sealed. So when people are saying she can't see her family, why can't she see her family? Why does she only have this amount of money? Why can't she go here and there? All of that is in the medical records, and the court's basis for the type of guardianship, whether it's limited in some capacities or far-reaching in others, all of that is in records, again, that people for Ms. Williams' protection do not have access to. But the other thing I meant to say in the first round, I was hearing you with Charles, and he said, she doesn't sound like this, and she doesn't sound like that. And with Brittany.
Right. And my thing is, how does a bank know that you have dementia or something is wrong with you? Like, your bank knows your health status and what's going on with you? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, how does that work out?
We heard this and we heard that. And I would just ask people to not make assumptions based on the way people sound, because I can sound very clear right now. And the minute we hang up, I can be two sheets in the wind. You have no idea whether somebody, as they're talking to you, is functioning alcoholic, if they're dealing with depression, if they're on drugs, if they're schizophrenic. The Man in a Beautiful Mind, who was a brilliant professor, but at the same time was seeing and talking to people who didn't exist. You never know. And I'm not saying any of that is going on with Ms. Williams. It seems, frankly, just from a layperson's perspective, that she is doing much better and sounding much better than that horrible exploitative documentary. But how do we know that that isn't because she is in treatment, on medication, being cared for, and doesn't like it as a—
And by the way, Ronnie kind of already hinted to it. I will go ahead and pull up Storm's video too as well. Here we go.
Opposed to it being that she doesn't need the care. We simply do not know.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about transparency after this. We simply do not know. But I'm going to read an email that I got today, which sort of says what you say, okay? Someone sent this to my representative. It says, please have Don contact me about FTD, right? She says, I have FTD, and which is the frontal, dementia, temporal dementia. She said, I have FTD and I sound perfectly normal too. FTD is not Alzheimer's. It is very, very different. If you want a good source, visit the aftd.org. I'm more coherent than most because I have something called high cognitive reserve. I am also aware and acknowledge that I have the FTD. Most FTD patients do not acknowledge they have a problem. You must learn about this, please. Cordially, and then she gives me her name. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that happens, even though she's right. It's different than an Alzheimer's diagnosis. What she's describing, where a person can have a health challenge and not acknowledge it, and even their brains, the way that they're wired, prevents them from knowing it. They feel completely normal. You cannot convince them that they aren't. And sometimes things will happen and it'll be shown to them or it'll be told to them and they'll completely deny it. But the signs show up in other ways. You know, we in my family, transparency, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so my mom and her brother had to take over her care. And it first showed up as unreasonable expenditures, out of character behaviors. Then it turned into absconding. Then it turned into a thing and a thing and a thing. And then I have a son who is on the autism spectrum, who is now of the age of adulthood. And his dad and I had to apply to the court for guardianship.
And I'm not saying that she's wrong about what she's saying, but something that is very important between her situation and this situation with Wendy is that she, as far as the family, was able to take care of the grandmother and her son. Like, that's family. This is a totally different situation where you have the bank and then the financial advisor is the one. The financial advisor was the one to sound the alarm, and now she has a guardian. So this is a little different, where compared to, oh, you know, your grandma who got dementia or has Alzheimer's. Well, yeah, usually the family steps up and takes control over it, not the string. Like, it's not the same thing. I think she doesn't even realize what she's saying. But I wanted to read this article from The Sun real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it said, mad over money. Wendy Williams' ex-manager Bernie charged $10K to her credit card to hire powerhouse attorney without permission. Wendy Williams claims her ex-manager Bernie Young charged $10,000 to her credit card to hire a top-notch attorney without her permission. A source exclusively alleged to The Sun that Bernie, 75, who Wendy fired at the start of this year, used her American Express to pay for the hiring of Carolyn Wolf, a powerhouse law firm, Abrams, I think it's Finsterman LLP, to pursue guardianship over the TV talk star. So there we go, right there. It was Bernie. It seems like Bernie started this fight. So it was probably a fight between the family and Bernie. And then now it ends up in this situation where she's in that guardianship because Bernie tried to hire an attorney with her credit card to get a guardianship. Wow. 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 Bernie ain't shit. I don't like Bernie Sanders and I don't like Bernie Young. Screw you. Screw you. I don't care. I said it.
If you meet him, you will know that he has some challenges because he's sort of in the middle of the spectrum, but it wouldn't necessarily be obvious to everybody that he can't handle his financial affairs and et cetera and so on. So making assumptions based on the way somebody presents on any given day is not the way to go with these things. It's not the way for safety. I loved what you said about how you want what's best for Wendy because she's somebody who's been in our lives, who we love and who we want to see succeed. And I think that everybody who is healthy and frankly unhealthy deserves agency and deserves as much freedom of decision making as they can have without harming themselves and others. Wendy said in the interview with you, she got plenty of money. Now, I don't know if that would be true. If somebody else was not, as she said, being paid, and the amount is de minimis. She said that people make money off of guardianship, and it's true. It's a hired position. It's not for free, but it ain't my billable hour. Let me put it that
way. So that's what I was gonna say. And I'm gonna play this clip, and then
one thing that I also wanted to point out too was that with the money issue, I don't believe that Wendy could have spent up so much money that it alarmed them. Like, Wendy was not broke. She was estimated to be worth $70 million. You can't tell me that she spent maybe even $10 million of that money on frivolous stuff, and then, you know, what was she going to Dubai or going to expensive places? As far as I understand, she was in Miami, and it was like $100,000 at Uber Eats where they got alarmed or they were triggered by that. So this kind of started the process. But yeah, even with Uber Eats, yeah, that is kind of expensive. But if you don't cook, yeah, you are spending that kind of money on food when you don't cook, right?
I'm going to ask you the question I'm going to ask you because I asked Charles a similar question. This is a clip from the TLC. Is it TLC? Yeah, the TLC or Lifetime.
Her broke is not our broke, right?
Doc, where this is when people became really concerned about her.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again.
She was put in front of a judge and given a guardian.
I think, hold on.
That was when they took her away from us.
I have.
Because Lifetime will get me.
This is all too much.
You know, when we see her out in public, they're saying that she's not the same Wendy. Here it is. How so?
Alex, can you please talk?
How wait, Wendy, how is she making money off of you?
Well, you know, you're my guardian, so you're making money off of me. You know, like for instance, when I was in Miami there's some legality things that I am not confident
I understand.
to talk so much about. But Alex,
I understand. I've spoken to Alex about this. I want to know, Wendy publicly was at that graduation, and so is she looking and sounding better because of where she is? I know that folks don't want to hear that, and they're going to say, free Wendy. I don't know. And does there need to be more transparency around this process?
Well, let me just say this, and I'm going to say it exactly the way that I feel it. Whomever permitted her to do that doc, and whoever got the check for that crap is no friend. Who does that? Who would put their mama, their brother, their sister, their auntie, even if they want to? And I've heard people say afterward, if we had known that she had frontal aphasia, we wouldn't have permitted it. But you're holding up martini glasses and bottles like.
The documentary didn't make her look good at all. I will be the first one to say that. It was not a good look. I understand that basically it was to show the desperation of the family, and, you know, Wendy is under this guardianship, this conservator, and she's not getting better. She's not getting help. And then you have this person, Will, who was her quote unquote manager, talking about a podcast. Wendy doesn't even know what a podcast is. It was the messaging and everything that was going on. She did not have the right people around her. And mind you, that documentary was while she was in the conservatorship. So that lets me know one thing. The conservator would have had to give approval for that, right? To do that documentary. And now the conservator wants to sue because of the way the documentary was done. But as I understand, they would have had to give her permission to do that, right? So that's a little confusing.
Why that's so private, so sacred, and unless she insisted on it for herself, and then why participate in it? And so a guardian should be suing over
Please hit the like button,
because something like that can directly affect the value of Wendy's estate. And that's a harm to her. That's not a help to her. Does she sound now better than she did in there? Yes, but I don't know what that means. Even as I'm saying, sounds better. That's negligible. That depends on so many factors. Is it clean time from alcohol abuse? Is it mental health?
And again, I agree. We don't know exactly what her condition is all the time. However, please hit that like button. Thank you. But however, I don't think that she needs to be incapacitated. You know, you can't tell me that this woman is incapacitated. That's what people are having an issue, because you're letting us know like this lady can't think for herself. She can't make a decision. She's like stuck on autopilot, and she has no brain. Basically, that's what you're letting us know. This is what we have a problem with, more or less, because it's like, well, it doesn't seem like Wendy's like out of it, or she doesn't know. Like, it seemed like, yeah, she might not be the old Wendy, but she got enough of a know-it-all to know what she's saying and what she's doing. It doesn't seem like as bad as that documentary was, you know?
Is it therapy? Is it being away from the people who were driving you crazy? Is it none of those things? There's no way to know.
Let me ask you this, because Monique, we had a conversation. It's like, we have to be very careful. People will get upset. They'll get mad at us. I'm just being honest, because this morning, everyone was very positive. Everyone is like, free Wendy, free Wendy. And if it's the best thing for free Wendy, we want Wendy to be free. Don't get us wrong. But someone says, Cruz with Cindy says, this conversation is not a balanced discussion, but it seems as though you both are leaning towards a particular narrative. I don't like it. Free Wendy. Cruz, Cindy, you don't know. I'm asking, should there be more transparency around the process? Could perhaps this guardianship, I'll say it, could it be the best thing for Wendy? That the reason that she's sounding better, that you think that she does not sound like she has dementia or is incapacitated, is because she's getting care, is because she's on medication. Now, does that mean that she should necessarily be in the facility that she's in, or the room that she's in, that they can't change some of the parameters? Perhaps it can be looser, not so strict, something that is a compromise to both the family and Wendy? Sure. But don't just think that it's, that the conservator, who I believe is a wealthy person herself, doesn't have Wendy's best interest at heart.
I don't know that for a fact, but I will say this. There's always something about like, oh, rich people have enough money or something like that, right? Rich people want more money. Don't ever believe that they don't want more. Don't ever think that. So I wouldn't even take that into consideration at all.
I don't know. We don't know. The family doesn't believe that. Wendy doesn't believe that. So I will give them that. But we don't know, because we're not involved in it. And I do believe there should be more transparency, and that should be a discussion about moving forward what is best for Wendy Williams, who, by the way, I know you people in the chat don't know. You don't know my experience with Wendy. You don't know the history with Wendy. You don't know how well I know Wendy. You don't know that she's been at my home several times and that we've spent time together. I've been on her show, 20, 30 times. I filled in for her when she first became sick from the Halloween thing with the Statue of Liberty when she passed out. I think it was the next week or so whenever I filled in for her. So I know Wendy. I want what's best for her, but you cannot say that this conversation is not balanced, because we're trying to discuss more than just one side. Free Wendy, okay, but is that the best thing for Wendy?
And
Wendy, do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't even know that there should be more transparency, Don. I might be misunderstanding the way that you're saying that, but I believe that at least where her medical records are concerned, and where her financial records are concerned, there should be no transparency outside of the walls of the courtroom for the people who are supposed to have access to those things. So I think that things that we don't know are things that we really aren't supposed to know. I'm not supposed to have some bird's eye view to the details of her medical diagnosis and all of the things that are going on with her.
Okay, I disagree with that because I think the problem is that the records are sealed. Like, do I think everybody records should be open? No, there's some stuff that should be sealed for privacy and stuff like that. But if Wendy agrees that it should be open, it should be open for everybody to see. Like, if this lady really does have all these issues, then let us see it. Let it be open. Let it be open. Because again, the judge, Sabrina, and the lawyer are all in bed together. So those are three people in bed. This is not somebody independent or from the outside. Remember, she had another lawyer, LaShawn, who was trying to sue originally, but again, that didn't go through, or let's say it's still pending. So that's still up for discussion. There's no independent lawyer outside of who's already in there. I wanted to pull up Tasha K's video where she talked about this. Let's do 5 minutes of call in. All right, 5 minutes of call in. All right, go ahead and call in. I'm just going to turn on my camera while I bring this up. But while we're talking about it, do you guys think that this conservatorship has saved Wendy's life? Yes or no? Has it saved her life? Okay, we got a caller. Clarinda, your internet is not working. Like, I see you in the back, but it's a connection issue. Yeah, definitely an overstep. Yeah. Okay. Yes, but there's an overstep. Yeah. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a bad thing if it was just all like, hey, I'm just here looking over her financials, not the state of Wendy. They're literally looking over everything as far as her health, where she can go, where she can do this. If it was just like, hey, we noticed some shady activity with your money, we're going to put you on some kind of allowance. That's what originally I thought it was. I thought it was like some kind of allowance that she was getting, but that's not what it is. It's like over her whole entire life. That's the issue that I have with it. Expansion of parameters, yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Okay, you'll try from the computer. Okay. I'll go ahead and play Tasha's video, and then what I'll do, Clarinda, if you end up coming back, I'll let you come up for a couple of minutes to state your piece and stuff like that. I'll stop it in the middle. All right, here's Tasha. I'm gonna skip ahead because I just want to get her commentary. Oh, where's the video? Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even pull up the video. Mm.
Like, she can get moved and we may not even know where she is.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. This ain't got nothing to do with my professional opinion. This ain't got nothing to do with Wendy's iconic status, but I'm just finna say some shit. Probably gonna rub y'all the wrong way, but it is what it is. We all have a family member that has abused some sort of substance to the point where it altered them and altered their mind and altered their health. And we all suffer from a family member that has gone through what Wendy has been struggling with her entire life, okay? Which is substance abuse. Wendy, unfortunately, due to her vulnerability and her drive for work, because all she did was work and get high. And then she ended up marrying her husband, who was her drug dealer. And then when she got pregnant, it was her baby that, because she tried to.
Did she say Kevin was her? I heard this, but I just realized what she was saying.
Get pregnant a few times. She's talked about that, but she couldn't carry a baby to term because her uterus and stuff. But it enabled her to, to stop for a little while. And so, but when people have addiction problems, there's nothing anybody can do but them. That is something that they deal with on their, like, no matter how much you try to, put them in rehab, do the right thing. If it's not in them to be clean, it's just never in them. And Wendy, unfortunately, suffered from substance abuse for many years. And she made a lot of money while being addicted. And so while you guys are saying Ray J did this, y'all blame Ray J for Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston had been getting high. What we like to do is always project or blame other people when they have money. The reason they ain't here is because of this person. But let's be honest, the reason Wendy got money is because of the substance abuse. That's what enabled her to do what she did. That's what got her through.
Well, partially I disagree with this because she wasn't just doing, Coca-Lina the whole time. Now, if we want to go with alcohol, then that's one thing. But alcohol and Coca-Lina, they're both, you can get addicted to them, but I wouldn't consider them on the same level. No.
This was her, before she had that baby, this was her baby. And so, unfortunately, because she never dealt with the substance abuse, and she only stopped because she had a son, but she started drinking, I had been getting reports on Wendy's drinking from her own family. The very family that is doing this campaign. The very family that is the reason why Wendy is in the situation she in now, because while Wendy was drinking, while Wendy was getting drunk to the point where she was inebriated, because what happens is when you drink too much alcohol, alcohol is sugar. It raises your glucose levels. It kills, brain cells. It causes Alzheimer's. It causes dementia. It causes, it's so many things. They would have to, between her.
And shout out to Mo because, yeah, if it does say something about, the doctor saying that she not able to take care of herself, and, they have to do those mental evaluation. Like, I believe it's like a behavioralist that does that, but they have to do a psych eval on you. So, yeah, that's another thing that would have to come out. That's probably sealed in the report as well, too.
Her husband spending all his extra hours out with the side. Her son was off. He was getting high too. They had to send him to Dr. Sabi to fix himself. Her family, they saw her every now and then, but them people weren't really trying to help Wendy. They saw Wendy as a check. That's why Kelvin was able to have a side itch, buy her a car, and buy a house down the street from Wendy. Because Wendy was too busy getting high, and they kept her like that. They kept her working and getting high because that's what she always liked to do. But instead of getting high, she was drinking. And we all got a family member or somebody that we know that has gone through this. And the more you feed them, the more, guess what, they're not thinking. And so the very reason that Wendy is on this radio is because her family put her in this situation. She's Wendy. She's this. We that. We tried. Well, what about?
Oh, so it was Kevin? Okay, because for a little history, because this was before I was on YouTube. Tasha was the one to drop the bomb that Sharina Kevin's mistress, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call her, had her baby. Tasha K was the one to drop that exclusive. And then this is when it came out to the public. That's when Wendy filed for the divorce and blah, blah, blah. So, yo! Was Tasha K the reason for the downfall of Wendy Williams? Because I think it was like Wendy didn't know that the girl was pregnant. Wendy knew about Sharita, whatever her name is. Wendy knew about that lady, and she was okay with him cheating and stepping out on her as long as he didn't bring home a baby. And once Tasha K dropped that, yo! Damn, Tasha, you ain't right. Damn!
The $100,000 in Uber Eats from her son. What about the big cash withdrawals that her family was taking while she was in New York, being seen getting out of cabs, ain't had baths in days, walking into gas stations, sending cab drivers into gas stations, in the restaurants, and letting her drink as much as she was. They didn't care then. Because guess what? She had a check that she couldn't monitor because she was inebriated. And y'all keep saying there's this conspiracy theory that Wendy planned this. Wendy planned this. No, Wendy had been doing this. This wasn't no big reveal plan to get away from her ex-husband. Wendy didn't have coping skills. And so Wendy went to the bottle, she went to drugs in order to cope. And so when her husband did what he did, her coping mechanism for 10 years while he courted that woman, that very mediocre, ugly ass woman.
Damn.
He got the worst of the worst. That can't even help him to get a check, but because he was insecure and Wendy was too busy, getting praised here and there, he wanted to be praised in the bedroom because of his lack thereof.
And shout out to Celebrity Scandalous. I know that you had said that Kevin was the one feeding Tasha that information. Did Tasha say that or did Kevin say that? I forgot to ask you. I'm sorry. Tasha hater. You might have to break that Tasha Wendy thing down. Yeah, put a 1 if you remember. Tasha K dropped the exclusive that Sharita was pregnant and had the baby. Kevin's baby mama, the mistress. So Sharita was the one that Kevin was messing around with for 10 years. Wendy knew about her. Wendy was okay with it until the baby came. She was fine, but she said once the baby came, she had to go. And no one knew about the baby until Tasha K broke the story. Tasha was the one to break it.
So everybody done milked her, spent all her money, not even because done came up in the picture, and now they want her back. But y'all was the reason why she's sitting there. Instead of y'all managing her house bills, you seeing they dropping videos of her going in the gas stations, swerving, can't talk, all types of shit. Y'all wasn't nowhere near around. Nowhere near around until guess what? The money stopped. When the money stopped, everybody woke up, saw them take Wendy, and now you're talking about free Wendy, free Wendy. Where's your money to free her? Now they got a GoFundMe out here. They got a GoFundMe asking y'all to free, which was once a wealthy woman that they helped to drain. And since they was draining her, why the crackers came in and was like, we can drain her too. If our family don't care, then we'll take it too. So that's why they in our pockets now. You don't see no guardianship happen in Black families. That doesn't happen. That's white folks. This was not supposed to happen. But because her brother was too busy on the internet doing interviews,
Talk about
putting her
Tommy.
name in every title, her son was being a kid. He's a child. So, of course, he's going to run up $100,000 plus in Uber Eats. Kelvin, instead of him managing the money, he want to go spend it on Lamborghinis and all this on some mediocre South Carolina throwaway coochie that he met through Charlamagne, the God, because they know each other, and that's how he met. And Charlamagne.
That part is true. Charlamagne knew the girl. He introduced her to Kevin. So yeah, he's the catalyst of a lot of that stuff.
Man, while you on the radio, why don't you tell people how Kelvin met the mistress that he's with? Wendy put you on. Now you trying to free her, but you helped to contribute to her mental pain and decline and helped Kelvin, her husband, to cheat.
Oh, I want to talk about the when she said that's white folk stuff about the conservatorship, all that. Again, when most of the time when our grandma or somebody gets sick or we need to take over, we just take over. We ain't got Wendy Williams kind of money where banks are involved and they got a financial advisor who's saying, "Oh, you spending up your money." No. Sometimes if you come from a loving family, they will take care of the elderly. Sometimes when you come from a greedy family, they will take advantage of you and leave you in that back room on the bed and, might give you a few snacks here and there, but don't really give a damn about you, don't bathe you, don't change your diaper, all that. So, yeah, so I wanted to talk about that for a minute.
Condo that they had with Wendy's money, it was Charlamagne there, it was Sharina there, Kelvin's mistress, the one he got pregnant, all of them there on Wendy's money. So not only was Charlamagne taking up a Kelvin, while he was tricking off Wendy's money, Charlamagne was getting paid and building his brand off the back of her too. Now you want to talk about free Wendy. Man, bye.
Oh, thank you for the cash app.
I cannot. And Charlamagne, I'm sorry. It's just not genuine. Because Kelvin, not only did you brought hoes for her husband. You was on this lady's show as a sidekick, gossiping as a you
are. Telling it all.
That likes your butt played with. Helping her husband to cheat.
I didn't hear
and pay
about that.
You, and then you take the money and spend it on the women that you giving to her. Man, oh my God. See, this is why they don't like me in the industry. This is why they don't like me in the industry. And this is the reason. It's the same people that y'all getting out here talking about, oh, girl, for me, free her, free this, free that. Child, she was free. She was out here, like I said, catching cabs, walking in the liquor stores, drunk, slizzard. Where was everybody? Where was Charlamagne? Where was Alex? Where was the son? Ain't nobody was down in that New York apartment while she was.
Now, before we move on to the next video, let's go ahead and ask the question. Is Wendy's family responsible for her being in the situation that she's in right now? Please go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. But is Wendy's family responsible for her being in the situation that she's in right now? And we'll go ahead and do 5 minutes of call in. If anybody wants to call in, we'll do 5 minutes. Okay, I have Storm's video right here. So we'll do Storm's video next, and then we'll finish out with Tommy and what he was saying, and I'll give you my opinion about Tommy.
To let the public know that she is being held against her will in this conservatorship. She should not be up under a conservatorship. Ain't nothing wrong with her. And essentially, she feels like she's in jail. And from what I've been told, that's absolutely the truth. They were not lying over there on the Breakfast Club when they said that Wendy is being held in a memory care facility up in New York. If you have ever had a loved one or a relative or a friend,
not a memory care center,
of the family in one of those facilities, you already know that it's very hard to have access to your loved one once you sign them over. Like, even though your family, you know, even though you're on the designated contact list, you still get to run around to see your own relatives as well. But I need to get into the truth about what was going on over there on Wendy's show before it went off air, as well as her marriage and what was being done to Wendy on set at the Wendy Williams show by production. Okay, so the truth is, what you guys should know is that Wendy Williams no longer wanted the show. She no longer wanted to be on TV, and that she actually wanted to go back to radio. So Wendy's plan, especially when she was divorcing Kevin, was to divorce Kevin and then quit the show, stay out of work for about 12 to 18 months, and then go and do a radio show with Sirius XM. She was going to have a whole thing, a whole deal over there. She had been in talks with Sirius XM on her own, which was a big deal to her because normally...
This part I disagree with. I think Wendy liked TV. I believe she liked it.
Those kinds of things, Kevin handled all that. Kevin handled everything. To be very frank, you know, on one hand, Kevin was her bodyguard and he was her physical protection, but then on the other hand, he isolated her from everybody, ruined a bunch of opportunities, and kept her imprisoned. You know, now when I even think back to when she would talk about her own life on the show, her life basically consisted of going to work, right? Going back home, going in the house, shutting the blinds, getting something to eat, putting on Lifetime, and that was what she would do. And she would always joke about that, but we didn't realize that, like, she really didn't have no friends for real, and she really didn't go nowhere because Kevin didn't let her. And it was just a crazy situation. But anyway, when Wendy was close to divorcing his ass, her whole plan to try to get out of paying him any money, any alimony, anything, okay? Because Wendy did not want to take care of him and that mistress. And Wendy had decided years before that, which we'll get to in a minute, she had just decided she was not going to take care of him for the rest of his life and take care of that mistress for the rest of his life. And then, of course, once the baby came, baby Journey, that was just a knife in Wendy's heart. So, like I said, the plan was to divorce Kevin, then quit the television show, stay out of work for 18 months, and then go to her Sirius XM deal. That's just what it was. But Kevin caught wind of what she was trying to do. And it's unfortunate that he caught wind. I mean, I don't know who told him, but hey, the industry is small. It is what it is, right? And of course, like, think about if Wendy's plan had actually worked and she wasn't on TV, she was just on radio, back on radio doing her thing, and all of this Diddy stuff is popping off right now. She would literally be killing it because that was Wendy. So Kevin, once he caught wind of this, actually held several secret meetings, right? And I say secret because most of the meetings that Kevin would have with production or have with the network or have with her bank or have with anybody that she did any kind of business with, Wendy was not involved anyway. Wendy was so far removed from what was like going on in her life, it was ridiculous. Her job was to just show up to work, do as she was told, and just make the money, to basically be a workhorse. Anyway, Kevin had secret meetings.
Which we do know that. Like, basically, Kevin handled everything. That was her go-to for everything. He was literally her manager. But he controlled every... Damn! Wendy been in a guardianship basically her whole life. Kevin was her guardian.
With production, told them Wendy's plan to quit the show and to go back to radio, and everybody, and I mean Kevin, production, as well as Wells Fargo Bank, to figure out a way to put and lock Wendy into a conservatorship. Now, the plan was to, of course, keep Wendy medicated, but keep her just medicated enough to where she could just work, and then they could still be in control of her, if that makes sense. I know this sounds crazy, but the best example of this, from what my source is telling me, is think about Britney Spears. Britney Spears was declared mentally incapacitated. Britney Spears was locked into this conservatorship where she couldn't do anything. She was monitored 24/7. As a matter of fact, Britney's dad even had cameras. Even had cameras in Britney's hotel room, so he was probably watching her.
I'm gonna fast forward a
This
little
is what
bit.
the source is telling me. In this industry, when you don't want to play the game anymore, when you don't want to work anymore, when you want out of your contracts, this industry will find a way to ruin you. And it's not just necessarily like taking your life, you having a mysterious accident or self-deleting yourself, but a lot of times it's about just ruining your name as a person, ruining your public reputation, or putting you in some type of conservatorship. And another example of this is Dave Chappelle. When Dave Chappelle no longer wanted to do his show with Comedy Central, they literally turned the media against him. And by they, I mean powers that be. By powers that be, I guess you can call that the Illuminati.
I mean, it's fun and all these things, but there's a tremendous amount of work.
And make sure you guys check out Storm's video. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there because I wanted to get to Tommy's video as well. I don't want y'all here for 5 hours. You know, I was just talking about people who like to be here 4 and 5 hours. So I don't want to keep you guys going. But basically, check out Storm video. He was basically saying that Kevin and the producers were trying to set up Wendy, but the thing is that they didn't realize. Well, what Kevin didn't realize was that the white people, they was gonna kick Kevin out and then try to get control of Wendy and make her do stuff. So that's what he was alluding to. And then also they were allegedly drugging her as well too, just keeping her, okay, so she could do the show, but they was controlling her nonetheless. Okay, we got Clarinda here. Okay, hey, perfect time because we was just about to do our 5-minute break. Clarinda, are you there?
Yes.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. So my mom had this happen to her probably like in 2013 or so, and it was not a situation where me or either one of my siblings complained about my mom. It wasn't anything like that. They just, like I said, the bank saw she was trying to do some stuff to her house and they saw her make some big deposits and they did it. Okay. So the thing about it is my parents were very wealthy. We come from a small town here in Missouri. And when me and my sister started trying to combat this, which it was like, it was a nightmare. Like I said, we had Dateline on their way down here and everything. And that's when they dropped my mom's case. When they found out,
when you got the media involved.
Yeah. And even when they say they're looking out for the people, they're not, because my mom has never, ever, ever missed her mortgage payment ever. They didn't pay her mortgage for 3 months and her house ended up in the newspaper and that about killed her.
Wow.
But then whenever we demanded to see the bank statements, they had helped themselves to about $30,000 in 1 month themselves, but they weren't paying her mortgage payment. Somebody had backed into my mom's SUV and the glass had broken out of it. And if you have a wreck or something like that on like in a store parking lot or something, you can't charge it to your insurance. You have to pay for it. They wouldn't give her the money to fix her back window. She had to ride around with the window taped up with plastic through the winter time.
Wow.
They wouldn't let her hire anybody to shovel her snow. My mom loves her family. She takes family very seriously. We have a family reunion every 2 years. They wouldn't let her go to her family reunion in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah.
So they had control over her whole life.
Her whole life.
Wendy.
Just like Wendy. And there was, my mom worked. She didn't work because she had to. My mom likes to cook. So she used to bake for the school. She didn't want to sit at home. I mean, sitting at home was not her thing. So she worked, there was nothing wrong with her. My mom doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't do anything like that. And so what it was, they seen an opportunity. I'm telling y'all, these conservatorships fund a lot of the local governments because when I went and I did my research, I started looking for everybody that was in a conservatorship in the county that my mom was in. It was all the same scenario: rich widow women.
Wow.
That
And
have
you know,
money.
and we know Wendy and we know Brittany, and it does seem like, wow, is it just women that they put in the conservatorship?
Mostly women.
Wow.
And I actually met one of the other ladies that lived not far from where my mom, they had her in the conservatorship. And I met this lady, wasn't a damn thing wrong with her. She was gardening, doing her flowers, everything in her brand new house in her yard. It got to the point where they ended up putting an ex parte on her daughter. They wouldn't even let her daughter come and see her. See, they knew better to try that with me and my sister, because that damn courthouse would have been on fire like California. Like it would have been what it was. Like they didn't go that far, but they did. They will put ex partes against your kids. They won't let your kids visit or anything like that. So yeah, but like I said, it wasn't until they knew that we wasn't playing and Dateline was on their way down here that they hurry up and backed up off my mama. Did they give her money back? No, they didn't. But for her to get out of it was a blessing enough, but it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Not to if you care so much about, elderly people, why would you not want her ice and snow shoveled off her sidewalk so she won't fall? Like, if you really care.
And my question for you is, without giving your mom's information, did she have like an accountant or a financial advisor?
No.
So it was just the bank that realized she made some deposit.
I think what it is too, a lot of times they want to keep that money in the bank in that county, because like I said, the money that is generated from these conservatorships funds the local government, especially in small raggedy towns like where I'm from. It's not a lot of money there, but if the money that they can find, they're going to gouge it and drain it. And it helps fund the local government. If they didn't have that money coming in, a lot of these local governments wouldn't know they wouldn't have any money. Yeah. The final straw was when the lawyer for the conservatorship put his hands on my mama.
What?
She went up there to ask them again, can I please go to my family reunion in Michigan? And he pushed her out the door.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, so when I tell you this stuff is deep and it's gruesome, it's all about money, and it's about keeping the local governments funded, especially, like I said, in small little towns like where I'm from that don't have a lot of money. This is the way that they keep their revenue up.
So what did they say what was wrong with her? Like, as far as like a medical...
We had 3 different doctors come and testify that there was nothing wrong with my mom, and they still wouldn't let her out of it. 3 different doctors.
Oh, wow.
That we paid for on our own to come and testify on her behalf, and they still wouldn't. The only thing that got them, like I said, to budge was because they knew that we wasn't playing and we had national media coming to get on that ass. And then they backed up. They backed up. But when I looked, we demanded the bank statements. It made me want to throw up. I mean, you should have seen the withdrawals they were making to themselves and not paying our house payment. So, yeah, it's not about taking care or no, it has nothing to do with that. And like I said, you don't have to be mentally ill or nothing was wrong with my mom. She was fine. And the lady that I went and met and talked to, same thing. She was in good health. Looked fine, just outside doing her flowers, working on her yard. And they did the same thing to her, but she was scared to speak out. She was a white lady. But she said when her husband died that they did that to her too. But she had a brand new house. She lived by herself. If she was so bad off, then why would they let this woman live in a brand new, that house was probably about 1,800 square feet in a house by herself. If she was that bad off.
Right. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
And so to protect your mom now, like, did you guys have to update her accounts or move her money out that bank? Like,
yeah, she went ahead and moved her money out of that bank. But like I said, they want you to keep your money. They want to keep that money in that particular bank in that particular county because it helps fund the local county governments when they do this shit in the courts. And so they get scared when you go in there and you got a lot of money. You be like, I'm moving my money somewhere else. They don't want that. They get nervous, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And did she have all her money in one bank?
Yes.
The reason why I asked that, because, I'm trying to ask so much without getting personal
And my
into my
dad, when
business.
he was alive, he didn't do that. He had 3 different banks. But see, that's the thing.
Ding, ding, ding.
When I went to my research, the limit, the FDIC limit is $250K.
Right.
So back in the day, my dad would move it around. He made sure he had several different banks because of the limits that the FDIC will insure, which is, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be $250,000 is what the FDIC will insure.
Yeah, like I got 250,000, but I think that's still what I think that's still what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, when I went down the list and started researching, mostly every single one of these people that were in conservatorships were older women. There were no men involved. And that gave me a side eye too. It was like older women who were, like I said, widowed, that had a lot of money. But here's my thing. If you want a conservator, watch the people who get a Social Security check. They need people watching over them. They got it backwards. Those are the people that need to be watched over, but they don't have no money. They can't make no money off of somebody who's just getting a regular SSI check. They don't care about those people. And those are the people that they should be looking after to make sure they have a place to live and that they have money for food and all that. They don't want no parts of that,
Right. That's why I was asking, like, what about just normal, everyday elderly abuse? Like, that
they don't give a damn about that.
Yeah, they don't care. They can't make money. You gotta
have some money before they'll even pay any attention to you.
Yeah, because there's not a broke conservator. Like, it's usually somebody who has money because they get paid through the estate. So yeah, you're right about that. Oh my God. Well, Clarinda, thank you for the information. I appreciate you being so open and transparent about it. It makes a lot of sense.
People talking and giving their opinion. I'm like, y'all have no clue what this was really about, and it goes deeper than just somebody saying Wendy's crazy or her family. And another thing, I see Tasha getting her bowels all twisted up because, to be honest, her ass is scared because she knows that Wendy comes back on the scene, she's gonna get knocked off the block. Like, I can see it in her. I can see it in her, the fear, the intimidation. She don't want Wendy back on her throne. She don't.
I think as long as Wendy doesn't come over to YouTube, she would be fine.
Wendy will be on
YouTube.
Think
if she
some of her videos at least will be on YouTube, and I think that's got Tasha in a frenzy. Her ass is already in trouble anyway from Cardi B, and I really think that this has got her scared. She don't want Wendy to come back. And I think, like I said, Don is a hater because she went to Breakfast Club first and didn't come to his show first, and that's why he's spewing hate and being negative about this, because it just makes me mad that he tried to say there's something wrong with Wendy. Talking to someone on the telephone via talking to them in person or face to face, the conversation's gonna hit and flow different. You and I both know that. And sometimes she did sound a little choppy. That's because they're talking on the phone. If they would have been looking at each other or in person, the conversation might have flowed a little bit better. So, but he's on something right. Well, yeah, y'all was talking on the phone. That's why it made it sound like she was jumping all over the place.
And she can't speak too. She can't say certain stuff.
There's
so
certain
yeah,
that she can't say. But had they been, facial expression and stuff like that, it would have made a totally different scenario than versus her talking on the phone. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, make sure that y'all pay attention to these white people, because especially if you Black and you got some money and you take out a little bit more than what they think you should have, they're gonna swoop down on you like a hawk.
Yeah, so, be careful with your finances, y'all.
Be careful with it. Yeah, don't trust these folks, because my mom, she trusted the white people. She thought they, were on her side, and then when they did that to her, she couldn't believe it. But when he put his hands on my mama, that's when I was about to call my Kansas City Southside cousin down here to do work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so did anything happen with him, or
and his name is Philip Brown, and he's from Mobley, Missouri. I'll say his name, and his ass is a drunk too. And that's
let me put that Philip Brown.
The judge that did this to my mom was a big time drunk, and everybody in town knew about it. Her ass needed to be in conservatorship. So Yeah, just make sure you watch your back when you do this stuff. But if you can, spread your money out to 2 or 3 different banks. But I believe even though if she would have done that, they probably would have called all the other banks and did it too.
Oh, and yeah.
I think they would have. So, but yeah, if you have over 250K, don't put over 250K in the bank, because if something happens or the bank burns down like it did in California and you put $500,000 in there, you're asked out of the other 250K because you're only insured up to 250,000. So
yeah, definitely spread your money out. I agree. Well, thank you, Clarinda, for coming up. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Oh, that was dope. I like that. Let me go. Okay, so this is the last video with Tommy. So let me set this scenario up. So Tommy had did a video where he was mad, Wendy's brother, that Wendy did this whole interview with Charlamagne and, you know, been doing all this talking. But beforehand, he had went off on the Breakfast Club because he was all like, why is she talking to Charlamagne? And they also made fun of his t-shirts. Now, the clip on YouTube, it doesn't mention anything about his t-shirt. So I guess he's just making it up. But the t-shirts are really womp, womp, womp. Y'all, the t-shirts look like a 3-year-old did it. They're horrible. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of it. Hold on. But here's the video, you guys. And shout out to Tommy. Make sure you guys support his channel. Even though he's shadow banned, support him.
Evening time.
Okay, let me fast forward a little bit.
And good evening. So,
and of course, Wendy is the thumbnail, y'all.
A little bit more because I'm not that great with technology, as you all know. Stayed on the phone for a little longer, than Wendy cued me that she had to go. And she was going to be circling around to a couple of people that, you know, a couple more people. And I didn't give it much thought. But then this morning, I really should have given it more thought, perhaps. I guess last night she had a conversation with Charlamagne, and they set things up to go on and have a conversation this morning on his platform there, or on the studio thing, and then send him a link. And so she came on there and talk, and everybody, we saw that, and it was quite an emotional time for Wendy, quite an emotional time for maybe everybody, in a sense. Guardianship is in place; it's a system, and I don't know the law like that, or in any degree. I'm not professing to know too much about the law. Only thing I do know is that, folks, when you hear the word law, I think the general tendency is to tighten up, right?
Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to it, but I want to go ahead and show you these free Wendy t-shirts real quick. Hold on. Free Wendy t-shirts. $23.99. There you go. Well, I say Wendy mugs. Free Wendy mugs. He must have messed up on the title on that. Oh, and it go all the way up. Dang, it go all the way up to 5X. Okay. All right. Tommy making sure everybody can get his apparel. Everybody can get them a free Wendy apparel. But yeah, this is the shirt right here with the crown and every. Oh, hold on. Let me blow it up, y'all. I'm sorry. There you go. The free Wendy shirts. See, this is why they got a conservator, because these bootleg ass shirts. This is why they got a conservator, damn it. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, what's they said the 5X is for you. Oh, that was a bird. Just for me. You know what? Listen. Now, can you go help me? Can you buy one for me? I'll wear it. If you buy me the 5X shirt, I will definitely wear it. Shoot, you think that's an insult? Shit, I love free stuff. So if you buy me a shirt, definitely I will go ahead and wear me my ugly free Wendy shirt. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, those are the shirts that Tommy was mad about. That the Breakfast Club allegedly made fun of it.
Because law is synonymous with do the right thing. Personally, I feel that, coming on and poking the bear is not the right thing. And as the interview concluded, and Wendy and my niece were
Thank
getting
you, beautiful.
Someone made a statement. I forgot who, but it was said.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, I guess this, something about the phone, and I might not be able to make any more calls. And I maybe it was Wendy, perhaps. I don't know. I don't want to say. But folks, did anybody else hear that at the end of the conversation, or am I just bugging? Did anybody else hear somebody reference the phone and the possibility of not making any more calls or not being able to make any more calls? Yeah, I did. I thought that was sad. I thought it was sad because as you punctuate all that was said that should have been held back, I feel the realization was made, might not be able to make any more calls. And this.
So I actually agree with him on this point, believe it or not. I agree with Tommy. And the reason why is because, again, I don't feel like they had a plan. They literally just decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and do all these phone calls and try to get the, media attention on this thing so we can get help. But I think they definitely, if they were already talking to like Charlamagne and on the back end, I think they should have had a plan in motion more than like, hey, we're just going to go on a media blitz and try to get her to talk to everybody. I think there should have been more of a solid plan. Yeah, you're not lying about that. You're telling the truth, beautiful. You're right. Leave it to Tommy to not miss a chance to make. Yo, Tommy gonna make him some money. And thank you, beautiful, and thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that. Listen, Tommy gonna make him a few dollars off of Wendy. He gonna make him a few dollars. He don't give a damn. He gonna make him some money.
May preclude me, or might.
I need to put on my free Wendy shirt.
Not make it possible for me to go and visit my family for my dad's birthday. It's kind of like sending a carriage down the hill without the mother, And I think that, if I had an opportunity to speak with Wendy and know what her thoughts were and know what her intentions were, I could have sized up this interview and the individuals that were, she was interviewing with. And
what's very interesting to me, right? He's never in the process of any decision making when it comes to Wendy. He's always the last to know. And how I know that is because when Wendy was missing off of TV and everybody was like, where's Wendy? Where's Wendy? He was like, you guys, Wendy is doing great, you guys. She is great. Wendy is just enjoying her time off. Wendy is this and that. And then all of a sudden, when we find out, they saying that she's spending up all her money and blah, blah, blah. And then Wendy got dementia and she's an alcoholic. Then all of a sudden he wanted to come out and be like, you guys, I knew what was going on, but I just didn't want to say blah, blah, blah. I feel like Tommy does not know what goes on with Wendy. I feel like he doesn't know. Now, at one point, I thought he did not even talk to Wendy. Like, Wendy does not call him. I think they have limited conversation. Very limited conversation. But I believe Tommy does not know anything that's going on with Wendy. Put a 1 if you agree with that. If you agree that Tommy doesn't have any clue what's going on with Wendy. They keep him in the dark. And I'm not even mad at it either. But they keep that man in the dark. They make sure he don't know nothing. Because also, too, would he be saying this if Wendy gave him the exclusive? Would he be saying any of this if Wendy gave him the exclusive? Because let's not forget that every show, every thumbnail is something about Wendy. Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams. But yet Wendy is never on the show. Every thumbnail has Wendy Williams in it. And Wendy Williams is not there. The reason why he's shadow banned is because YouTube is very smart. They know that he's just using Wendy Williams' name for clickbait. And so what ended up happening was that everybody started getting pissed. Like, okay, you keep saying Wendy, Wendy this, but Wendy is never on your show and you're supposed to be her brother. So it shadow banned him. So he ruined his own channel. That's what happened. He ruined his own channel. And you know what? Oh, damn. Should I say it? Because should I wake it up a little bit? Because it was actually somebody who told him to do that. Someone told him to do this. Should I wake it up? Yes or no? 30 seconds. Y'all, damn, I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay. And I'm not saying this because I hate this person or anything like that, right? But we done with Tommy. He, you know, Tommy is what Tommy is. But the person that suggested to put Wendy Williams' name, hashtag her and stuff like that. Wait, hold on, okay. So it was another YouTuber who told him to use her in the thumbnail, hashtag her, put her in the title and stuff like that. It was a YouTuber. I should have let y'all guess first. I should have let y'all do the guessing game and then told y'all. And basically the YouTuber was all like, hey, why don't you use Wendy, and put her in the title, put her in the thumbnail, it might help you out. It was a YouTuber who suggested it. But the thing is, when the YouTuber told him, they didn't expect him to run with that and actually do it on every fucking video. I know where you're going, And this is why I say, like, I don't want no drama, but F it. I'm gonna say it. Y'all told me to wake it up. Perry. Now, I want to say this. I'm not going to give any of our private conversations, but that one, I'll give you guys that one. Yeah, it was Perry. It was when him and Tommy were cool because remember, he's been on their channel and stuff like that. He told him, like, hey, why don't you, put Wendy in the, help you in the algorithm. He didn't realize that fool was going to put it in every title, every thumbnail. I promise, it's no hate. It's no hate. Oh God. Their new son is probably gonna do a video about me because I dropped that bomb. But yeah, I had to do it. Y'all mad at me? I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. So this is why Tommy is the way it is. Blame. Oh shit. I'll give y'all that one. Other than that, I'm not sharing any private conversations, but that was too good to pass up. I had to let y'all know the secret on that one. That was too good to pass up. But yeah, that's why he be saying it in all his titles and shit. Oh man. Oh shit. What's up, Anita? How you doing? Y'all, we at the 2-hour mark. You know I don't do long live streams like this, but I had fun with y'all. I didn't go live the other day, so I was all like, you know what? Let me go ahead and spend some time with my people. I appreciate y'all being here. Right, beautiful. I don't think he knew. Yeah, to be fair, I don't think he knew. He didn't know that it would become an obsession, but obviously it did. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for the super chats. I did get one catch up, and then if you send me anything later, I always thank you later or after the show. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show too as well. But we out of here. Deuces, everybody.